Hi everyone. So I wanted to update you on the Samsung Watch 7 after using it for just over a week, or about a week now. Few cons, few pros, so let's get to it. The first pro, I would say, is the steps and the accuracy. Not had any issues at all with the accuracy. It counts them very well. You can see it here. When you start walking, it does auto-activate the activity. So you can then see the activity, you can see how much time you've done, how many calories you've burnt, what your heart rate is. So absolutely no issues on that one. The other good thing is that then it syncs up to the phone and you can see the workouts. So if we just do today, let's do this to 2.16 kilometers. So what it shows you is how much time, speed, heart rate, steps, calories, the chart, how quick you were going, what's the heart rate during the time, the map, so you can see where you were walking, if I can get it properly, there we go. So you can see on the map where it was, and then at the various different splits, how you were performing. So on that side, very good, and then it auto-tracks it, so you can see during the various different weeks, during the months, what you've done in terms of activities. So on this side, an absolute plus. On the negative side is the battery life. It's 27%. I charged it yesterday. It barely lasts more than 24 hours. What I'm having to do, because obviously there's only one charger, so rather than buy another charger, or carry one around, is every day or so just charge it up, and for an hour or so. So yeah, I just always have battery life on it, but it's a bit shocking, I have to say. I've turned off the things that I don't need. I've not turned every single thing off, because if not, then what's the point in having a smartwatch? I might just have a mechanical watch. So it's not great, so Samsung needs to do better on that front. The flip side of that is that it does at least mean that you have to take off the watch for an hour a day or so while it's charging, which I have to say is a good thing, because if not, you just keep it on and you can probably just barely see it. But sometimes here, red mark, probably from the sensors that keep going, so you do sometimes feel a bit of a red, just about make it out there. Sometimes it gets worse, sometimes it gets better, so it just depends on the conditions and the things, but it does mean that when I have to remove the watch for an hour or so, it's not a bad thing. The other good thing is a sleep score. So there is sleep apnea, which is probably a downside, which I just cannot seem to get it to work, and the snoring one as well, it just does never seem to work. It just always says no snoring data. Tap to learn more, and then you read it and read it and read it and try again, but it just never seems to work. But the other side of that is you do see various different metrics of your score. So for example, restfulness, we can click in here. It tells you that you were good, some wake time is normal. Basically it tells you things that you can do to change it. Mental recovery, what you can do again, where it's good, where it's bad. And it does give you some various different tips, hints and tips of what you can do to better your sleep time as well. Sleeping stages, this is good to just have a look at, see what's going on throughout the day. So when it was REM, when it was light, when you were awake, etc. So that's good, and then you can see it over the past 7 days. Let's just do sleep score rather than sleep time. So you can see it over the last 7 days or the last 31 days, and by month, although there won't be much because I've just got the watch. So tracking wise, excellent, very useful, and lots of insight. Probably another negative is the strap. So you only get one strap or one size of strap in the watch. So the strap's fine. It's just that the problem is that the size, this is the smaller of the two watches, and I guess that means that they've catered it for slightly smaller wrists, without thinking that people might actually just want the smaller watch no matter what the size of wrist they have. But It's not tight, but if you have any other bigger wrist, it sometimes just feels a little bit too tight. So I basically have to stick it on 2, and then on the 1 when I go to sleep. But other than that, anymore, and it'd be a bit of a struggle to deal with. So that one's something that Samsung should have a look into and have a think about, because other watch manufacturers provide at least 2 straps, or 2 sizes. So Samsung have just went with the 1. And I did double check the box just to make sure that I wasn't missing anything. Other positive is the apps and notifications on the watch. So there's none here just at the moment, but you can see various different scores. You can clear them. You can then go to Samsung Health, which is also useful, so you can see what you were doing, how you were getting on, and then if you take part in the challenges, you can see them here as well. So there's a lot going for it, and you can obviously see it on the phone, and very useful to see it from that front. Calls, making and receiving, or listening to sounds, music, etc. It does work. This is the non-LTE one, it's just a Bluetooth watch, but it does work absolutely fine. You can make calls, you can receive them. It's just a bit unusual talking to a watch, but it does absolutely work. What I have found with the battery, I mean, it says 9 hours and 51 left. There's absolutely no chance that this will last 9 hours. 26%, I reckon by, it's 2 o'clock here now, maybe by 10 o'clock, I'll need to charge it up. But what I have found is that even if it runs out of battery, it runs in low power mode or something automatically, so it still tracks certain steps, or still tracks your step for a certain amount of time. You can still see the time on it, just there's nothing else, it just comes up with the time. So on that side, it's not too bad. Heart rate is accurate as much as I can tell. It tells the time, which is always useful. And then other things that I thought I wouldn't actually use, but I end up using, is a sleep energy score. It's quite interesting just to see what's happening on the day, how it's gone up, down, what you've been, how you can change it. So obviously here it's telling me sleep time was average, consistency wake time is good, but I need to improve my sleeping heart rate, and it tells me your sleeping heart rate has been consistently out of normal range. Resting will help your body rebound, so obviously that's something to look into. And then various different other statistics. So I thought it would be a bit of a gimmick, but it's actually not too bad. And then the other one, stress and the heart rate. They are useful just to keep a metric over time, and it does seem to match quite well. Obviously today there's not much stressful things going on. Yesterday, Friday, work day, obviously something just after lunch annoyed me, so I was quite stressful. So it's interesting to see, obviously, what can you do about it? Not much, but it just gives you some insight into your day and how you can change, or what you can have a look at it and see if you can change it. Taking deep breaths, taking a bit of time to yourself, relaxing, etc. Size-wise, I found it absolutely perfect, ignoring the strap situation that I mentioned earlier. It fits on the wrist absolutely fine, not too clunky, not too big. It fits snugly on the wrist, and it doesn't stick out too much. What I have done though is I have removed all of the notifications from phone calls, WhatsApps, emails, etc. Because I think that would just add to the stress. What I really just wanted was a watch for tracking and a few insights into how things are going health-wise, and as well as some, I can see WhatsApp messages and things and emails, but it just doesn't notify me. So if I want to, I can check them, but I rarely do that. So it's just something that's good, and it just means that I can leave the phone away and not have to worry about it. I used to have to carry the phone absolutely everywhere. Nowadays, it's a case of go for a walk and just leave the phone at home, leave the phone somewhere, and then come back and deal with it then. So hopefully you found that useful in terms of insights into the watch. Very good. Probably give it a 7 out of 10 after this week of using. And the thing that drags that significantly down is the battery life. I mean, you saw here, I can't remember how much we started off with, either 27 or 28%. and in the space of about 9 minutes, we've lost a percentage or two, and it's just horrendous. So Samsung really needs to improve and take a leaf out of Huawei's book to improve on the battery side. So hopefully you found that useful, and thanks very much for watching. Bye.